Okay, I'm going to show you how to get to the math worksheets that you're going to work on today. They're not in your math book. These are normally something that I would print and hand out to you in class. But you actually have access to all of these worksheets on your own, which is really nice. And we'll probably use this option quite a bit while we're doing online school at home, so you don't have to print anything. If you want to print it, great, but I know things are getting overwhelming with everybody needing to print. So I'm trying to avoid you having to print as much as possible. So you need to go to your myhrw.com website. Okay. Hopefully you have it bookmarked. Mine's up here in my bookmark bar, but hopefully you have it bookmarked because we'll probably use it a lot. This is where you find the Dr. Berger videos. And I'm going to go and log in as a student. And you should see the screen come up. Okay, you don't want to go into the online edition. Okay, you want to go into your student edition and resources, because the resources are where all the math worksheets are. So it'll look like this. And then we are actually in unit 3, we're in unit 4. Okay, so if you forget what unit we're in module 11. So like I opened unit 3 and it showed me module 7, 8, and 9. And so I'm like, oops, that's not the right unit. We're in unit 4. So if you forget what unit, just kind of play around. Whatever one you click on over here will drop down the modules that are in that unit. We're in unit 11, okay, and we are generating equivalent algebraic expressions, and we just did 11.3, generating equivalent expressions. So you'll click there. And then you'll notice from here you can open up a copy of your book, which you have in front of you. You can watch all the math on the spot videos. If you want to watch them in Spanish, go for it. There's an animated math that's kind of tricky because it uses algebra tiles, which since we weren't in class, I didn't really have a way to do that with you guys this year, so we're just not going to worry about that. But then it has all the practice and problem solving worksheets that I normally pass out to you guys in PDF form and then in editable Word documents. I would not open them up in the Word forms. It's really easy to get the formatting all out of whack. So PDF is just like a picture. Okay, so you're going to do 2. Part of 1 and all of a second one. The first one, let me see, I wrote it down. What I want you to do is open D, practice and problem solving D. So once you click on it, it'll take a second. There it is. If you have the ability to print and it's not a big stress on you guys at home, go for it. But I would just use this as my textbook. So now I have this open. They did number 1 for you, and on my notebook paper, I would just write number 2 and start writing in my answers. You probably, for 1, 2, 3, and 4, you probably don't need to write down the initial problem, but for these, you really want to write down, like copy the problem down on notebook paper and then work it. So for this first one, really all they're asking you to do is identify the like terms in each list, because based on how you guys are doing on the practice problems today, that I've been kind of watching as they come in, y'all are struggling a little bit with this, and that's okay, because this is a really difficult lesson. Okay, like terms have to have the same variable to the same power, okay? And anything that's alike, you can combine, okay? So in this one, are there any other things that have a to the 1 power, or, just 1a? And there's another one over here, 2a. So they're saying 5a and 2a are like terms. What about the rest of these? Here's a b, but this is a b squared. So those are not like terms, because this b is to the first power, which they don't ever put the 1 there if it's to the first power. It just means there's 1 of them. This one is b squared, so they're not like terms. 43 is a number, and it's like 4, just a number. So they are like terms. Okay, and then, there is another b over here. Sorry, 2b. So this b, which is to the first power, and this b, which is to the first power, the 2 stays with it. They are like terms. B and 2b are like terms. I could combine these to 7a. I could combine these to 3b, and I can combine these to 47. So I really want you to practice on finding like terms first, because I think that's the biggest struggle. Once you find the like terms, it might be a good idea, as I've said in one of the videos, to rewrite it using the commutative property and put everything by its like term, because that's where you guys start making a lot of mistakes. So let's see, they did the first one for you. So the like terms here would be 4r, and negative 3r. So I mentioned this in the teaching video, and I think a lot of you really didn't catch on to this. When I'm combining like terms, I always have to use whatever operation, addition or subtraction, is in front of a term goes with that term. So this doesn't have anything in front of it, so it's a positive 4r. This has a minus sign in front of it, which tells me it's a negative 3r, because when you're taking something away, you're going backwards on the number line. So it's technically a negative number. If you're taking it away, you're going backwards on the number line. So it's a negative number. Super important, and why most of you are making mistakes. Okay, so this is a negative 3r and a 4r. They're both like terms because they have an r to the first power. So basically 4r minus 3r leaves 1r. That's why there's 1r there. Okay, then they have 5n squared. There's no other n squares to combine it with, so they just went ahead and wrote plus 5n squared because there is a plus sign in front of this 5n squared. What's next? 9 and a negative 2. See the minus sign in front of the negative 2? If I was on a number line and I said take away 2, what would you do? You would go in the negative direction. So it's a negative 2. Okay, so 9 minus 2 is 7, which is where their 7 comes from. The 9 is positive, so that keeps its positive sign. That's why it's positive 7. And then the last thing was this minus 2n. There's no other n's to combine it with, so it just stayed as 2n. So work each one like that, and you should be okay. Now, when you get down to these bottom ones here, perimeter, remember perimeter is just adding every side, right? So what they did on this one, and I'm going to write this on my whiteboard here. I'll switch over to my whiteboard in just a second here. It's 3D, 2C. I should have written this ahead of time, sorry. And 2C. Okay, so let me switch over really quick, see if I can do this. You all hang with me. Here's my whiteboard. So I'm going to keep it small. Just it makes it easier to switch back and forth. So make it a little bit bigger. This is the picture of it, and it's basically the perimeter is you add all the sides. So you're just adding 3D plus 3D plus 2C plus 2C. Okay, these are like terms. If I have 3Ds and I have 3 more Ds, I have 6D. Plus, I have 2 C's and 2 more C's, I have 4C. Okay, so once I know what D and C are, I can figure out what the perimeter of this square is. Okay, so I'm going to click back over here on this. Okay, so the same thing with this, you'll just add 3A plus 5A plus 4A. This one says a square has sides of 6x. Well, how many sides are in a square? 4. So you're just going to do 4 times 6x, or 4 with 6x in parentheses. And then you'll choose your answer. This one says a rectangle has a length of 4x plus 5 and a width of 8x, minus 4. Which expression shows the perimeter of the rectangle? Again, you have to add, there's two long sides to the rectangle, so you have to do 4x plus 5 plus 4x plus 5 plus the width, 8x minus 4 plus 8x minus 4. You have to add all 4 sides together. It's going to be a really long expression when you write it, but if you start rearranging it and putting all the like terms by each other, like we talked about up here, then that'll be a lot easier. So you're going to do this page, and then if I just click on the tab up here, you're also going to go to C. Oops. Okay, and on C, you're only going to do 1 through 8. Okay, these are similar to the ones that were on the class practice that you guys struggled a bit with. Just watch this negative sign here. Okay, once I multiply, I have a minus 7v, and then technically I'll have a minus 14w, because negative 7 times 2w, I would do it as a minus a negative 14w, or minus 14w, which is the same thing. So when you start combining, so make note of that. Again, you're adding all these 3 or 4 sides for the perimeter. You're adding these 3 sides for the perimeter. Perimeter is just adding. We're not doing any multiplying. It's not area. Okay, sides of a square, there's 4 sides. So 4 times, I would put 4 and then in parentheses, 8 minus 0.4. And then the rectangle, again, you have to do this side, plus this side, plus this side, plus this side, because there's 4 sides. So that's basically what you're going to be doing tomorrow. Well, sorry, today's Tuesday, watching this on Wednesday, what you're going to be doing today at home, I will send the answer key out to your parents, and I need you to comment which ones were the trickiest for you, because then I will work those for you guys on a video, and Thursday morning you can kind of see how I worked the ones that were kind of tricky. Okay, so keep communicating with me on the ones that are tricky. Not taking any grades on this right now. We're just learning. So just everybody calm down and ask questions and see if you can figure out what you're doing wrong. And let's just keep learning. You guys are doing great. All right. See you later.